Am I good enough?
Will my voice be heard?
Where does the journey lead?
Do I believe in myself enough?
Am I scared to be myself?
What does it take to be a leader?
What kind of teacher will I be?
Who's counting on me?
Do I have what it takes?
I can't teach all of the subjects like trig or calculus, engineering, things like that, but what I can do is help prepare my students for college, for career, by giving them the communication skills, first impression skills that are so vitally important. I make my students get in front of the classroom and speak to help them get used to that. I make them write, which is vital to every phase of their life, whatever they choose to do. And I can also show my passion and share my passion with them. I think that's the most vital gift I can give my students, is that I show up every day, glad to be here, not just here earning a paycheck, but I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about helping them become better people, showing them what their giftings are, helping them find their voice that they all have.
No matter how old I get or what I go through in life, I will always know that I can do whatever I want, and that is because Ms. Cooper has told me that and that she believes in me.
Mrs. Cooper gave me the passion to follow my dreams and to do everything that I've set out to do, and she's just been an amazing person in this process.
She really opened up my heart and made me believe that I was more than I thought I was, and that for me was a really, really big deal.
At the beginning of every year, I tell my students that if we get to the end of our year together and they question whether all I care about is English or if I care about them on a personal level, then I need to choose another profession. The faces change every year, but what I say remains the same. I want them to know that I'm invested in their lives. And once they know that, once I build that mutual respect and that trust in my classroom, they perform much better for me than they would otherwise.
In the classroom, I would term Mrs. Cooper as, I call her one of the kind of tough teachers. I mean, in that she expects a lot out of the kids. She has very high expectations, and I think that's good.
As I looked at the syllabus, or as I looked at the assignments, from not only a parent's perspective, but as a fellow educator's perspective, it struck me that this is a very positive learning environment. It's very rigorous. She challenges the students in a way that helps them and prepares them for life after high school.
She does give a lot of work. Freshman Jonah always panicked and whined a lot. I whined a lot. So if college Jonah could tell freshman Jonah something, it would be that everything she does is for a purpose. Nothing Miss Cooper gives you is just busy work. Everything that she gives you is going to help you in the future. I know that I was prepared for my AP English classes because of what I learned in Mrs. Cooper's class.
My class in particular was kind of the trouble class, and so we joked around with Miss Cooper a lot, and we weren't afraid to kind of challenge Miss Cooper, but then she wasn't afraid to push right back.
We've got 2 light items back here without a book. Somebody get one. There's one. Do not throw it at her.
She would really kind of relate to you, and it wasn't like a mutual friendship because she was still in charge, but she let you know like she was in charge, but she still had fun with you.
And they'll work for her. They'll work for her. They'll do what it takes because they believe in her too, not just that she believes in them. And she truly does believe in them. She cares so much. She's just has this huge heart for students, and she's in teaching for the right reason. She really is.
A lot of times it's really hard to get and then maintain a teenager's attention, especially when I see over 120 of them a day. So I have to use innovative methods to startle them, to get their attention and then keep it once I have it.
Miss Cooper taught me to think outside of the box.
I try to adopt a learn local, think global mentality and philosophy in my classroom. As I do that, it really gets my students to gain a bigger perspective with what's going on in the world around them. One way that I do this is through my research project. I have my students pick a social injustice, and I tell them that this is something going on in the world that shouldn't be. So that's very broad. They get to pick something that they're passionate about. And as they do that, they research it to see how big the scope of the problem is, and then find solutions for that. So they're really developing their critical thinking skills, not just research. And through this, I've seen them develop a lot of passions. I've even had students raise money for things that they've become passionate about through this project. All my students dread research projects in the beginning. I mean, who wouldn't, right? But by the end of it, they really are glad that they've done it. They've gained a bigger perspective, they've gained a global perspective.
She's got some great character, first of all, that comes out with the students in her classroom, it comes out with her colleagues in the hallways, it comes out to those of us as administrators and parents and so forth. I feel like she's going to be one of those teachers that there's going to be a lot of students that get into the teaching profession because of what Tiffany has done in the classroom. She will lead a number of kids into the teaching profession because of that.
You can tell that she's really an active participant in their, not only their education, but in their lives outside of school as well.
She really talked to us about becoming better people along the way, and it's made me decide that I want to teach elementary school. I hope that I can one day impact, these little kids as much as she's impacted us.
The things that mean the most to me are the little things. The note slid across my desk thanking me for caring about their lives. The tears that eventually turned to smiles on a female student I'm talking with about some things going on at home. The juniors and seniors who come back across the street to visit me, keep me updated on their lives. Those are the things that mean the most to me, that touch my heart, that keep me going to do what I do every day. And that's why I teach.
Mrs. Cooper helped me find my voice and encouraged me to let it be heard.
Mrs. Cooper taught me that I'm going to be a teacher that gives 110%.
Mrs. Cooper has helped me to believe in myself.
Miss Cooper taught me that sometimes the most unexpected people count on you.
Miss Cooper taught me that the sky is the limit.
Mrs. Cooper has shown me that I have what it takes.
Mrs. Cooper has taught me that it's okay to be myself.
To be a leader, you put others before yourself.
Miss Cooper taught me the journey leads wherever I take it.
Miss Cooper has taught me that I am good enough.
This is why I teach.